where a lot of you guys are. Thank you for joining us. I want to talk real quick as we open here about a problem that I think a lot of you guys have, a lot of you guys kind of a mistake that you're making because I get asked these questions all the time. So that's how I'd like to begin. Now, so many people have bought my, it says not receiving data. Hopefully you guys are getting this. Okay, we're going, I think. So, not to be totally thrown off course here by those things, we'll get to your guys' questions in a minute. Thank you for joining us live. And to really get our attention, there's something called Super Chat. You see the little dollar sign. It helps us run this channel. But I'll get to the problem that I see a lot of people making. And that is, well, first of all, I haven't talked about my book lately, but I've gotten a lot of really great feedback about it. So many people telling me how much it helped them. But we were in the United States for a while, and it's funny because I got so much great feedback on those videos, but some people they said, I like these videos of you guys in the United States, but I like you showing me about the Philippines. I learned so much about the Philippines from you, and I wrote a book, and a lot of people have. I haven't talked that much. I released it right before we left, and that's why we haven't talked about it much. But the people that have read it so far, which is actually quite a few people, we've heard so much great stuff. But it reminded me of something. The book is about moving to the Philippines, and certainly that was the main purpose for it, although it will help you with other things. But so many people, I think they focus on the wrong thing, and they think that they're going to just be happy by moving to the Philippines. And ultimately, what I want to do with this channel and my book, even though it has that specific purpose, with the channel in general, I want to help people get where they want to go, whether it's the Philippines or whatever. You want to have that kind of lifestyle where you have at least a certain degree of freedom. What's life about? It's about living life on your terms, being happy, being able to do what you want to do. Now, we can't always do what we want to do all the time. That's life. So you need to look at things, the greater picture, because so many people said, oh, I want you back in the Philippines making videos. I need you to show me how to do those things. Now, it's very flattering that people like say things like that, and they trust me as a source of information. I'm very happy about that. But don't just focus on the Philippines. You want to focus on the big picture. You want planning on, living your life and being prepared wherever you live, as opposed to that. And so many people, too, another thing that I get from people, they say, Travis, you say this certain thing and give this piece of advice. Well, this other guy says this other thing. What do you think about what this other guy says? First of all, I don't care because I'm sure I know more than most of those guys. And is what I would say to those people, if you think they're a better source of knowledge, you should definitely follow them. One mistake I see a lot of people making is it doesn't matter what's about, doesn't not just moving to the Philippines or moving abroad, but I see this a lot actually with diet and exercise advice. A lot of people they'll read something or talk to someone, and like maybe they'll hear the low carb diet's a good thing. Oh yeah, this guy got really ripped up about the doing the low carb diet. I'm going to do that. But then they go online and they read articles and they read things that contradict that. And when that happens, what do? The answer is they do nothing. They just get confused, and then they don't start anything. And I always said that the best thing to do if you want to learn something, you can get a mentor, but it doesn't matter even if the guy that's teaching you is bad, because sooner or later you'll find out. Let's say you get a personal trainer and you start his diet and exercise program. Well, if 6 months later you look exactly the same as when you started, well, you figured out that he's no good and you should do something else. So the most important thing is to just do it, just get started, get going. Even if you get going in the wrong direction, you'll find out sooner or later and you can correct course. So I think those are vital pieces of information. when you want to learn something, try and learn it only from one person. Don't try and get multiple sources. Just say, this is the guy, and I'm going to do what he says. Don't go online trying to get advice from other people. You're just going to confuse yourself. And I was talking to my dad about this actually, because my dad talks about, my dad's trained some people. My dad is a former natural bodybuilding champion. He built that body all without drugs, never used any steroids or anything like that. But some people too, they'll get advice. He's given people free advice, and then they go to someone else. Well, this other guy says this. It's like, well, who are you going to trust? So actually, the neighbor kid, he trained the neighbor kid for a while, and he started making progress. But then he took strength training in his junior high, and then his progress just totally stalled when he did the other guy's program. But people get confused too, and then he realized, oh, I should go back to Dr. Kraft and have him train me. But that's another story. So, what?
Well,
Go ahead.
I
Sorry.
am delighted to listen to everything you just said. I basically agree with everything you said. But before anything else, let me just say hi, hello, how are you, everyone? I'm not sure what time it is there right now, where you are, but I hope you are having a great day. It's a weekend, so let's just have fun. And hopefully, if it's morning your time, we're helping you to start your weekend happily and cheerfully. That's what we're here for. And of course, we can talk about different things. And if you want, there are a lot of comments that we get. So if you want to catch our attention and so we could see you right away amongst all the other comments and stuff, you can use, what's that called again?
Super
Super
chat.
chat.
It's the
There you
little
go.
dollar sign down there. You can circulate some good energy towards us, and we'll have an exchange where we can prioritize you.
And of course, we could easily give you a shout out.
Exactly. By the way, guys, you can let us know in the live chat room. We're using a new microphone. Hopefully, this sounds okay. Hopefully, it's working well.
Let us know
So,
how it sounds compared to the previous live streams.
but related to what I was actually just talking about, I was thinking on the internet, people that tell the truth, those are people that will be doubted and even called liars. And then for some reason, people that post lies online, those are people that get believed. It's kind of funny how that works out.
Well,
So you got to be careful about falling into those pitfalls.
there, when you were discussing all those things, one thing that came to mind actually is there's a very big difference between theoretical knowledge and hands-on, like the real knowledge that you have. Meaning, a difference between someone who teaches you about teaches you theoretical knowledge and someone who imparts with you some hands-on experience. So, I mean, theoretical knowledge is good, but hands-on or real experience is way better because like we'll see if the knowledge or theoretical knowledge you have is even applicable when something comes up.
Yeah, exactly. That's something that you see a lot on my videos, even on other videos, just on all sorts of topics. There's people that leave comments in the comments section. Often these comments are very good and you can learn a lot from them. But a lot of it is people just posting things that they think is the case, but then other people tend to believe them. Like I said, when someone tells the truth, it's kind of weird. They'll be doubted, and even people will even suspect them of being a liar. But then when someone says something totally false, a lot of people end up believing that. It's just funny how that works out.
Well, that just is a mere reminder for us to be more discerning,
Yeah, be more
to be
discerning.
more sensitive.
You got to use your powers of discrimination.
Right. And I have noticed, based on various comments and just things online, you'll see. Maybe you guys also watch these other videos or just commenters on different videos, not only in our channel, of course. Um, some people are even so consistent and would really insist on their on what they know and would oppose the reality or the real experience. And it's just ridiculous. I mean, that's why
So you're
there's
trying to say there's only two genders? No, I'm
what?
just kidding. We're not gonna open up that can of
I know
worms.
I didn't have enough sleep, but I think that was not what I said. Anyways, so you can move on. I can just elaborate on this later.
Well, we were recently in China, and it was a very brief stopover in China, but there was a lot that happened actually that you didn't see in the video. The video came out very
Yeah.
good. I'm very happy with that vlog where we went to China and we went and explored the city for a day, and we had our new friend there, John Dang. Shout out to John Dang, who will never see this because he's in China where YouTube is banned and now Apple banned VPNs there. That's a whole nother issue, but he was a really terrific guy. But there was a lot of things that happened or certain feelings that we might have had, you in particular,
Do you
that wasn't in the video.
you want me to start with sharing my unique, my remarkable experience in China?
Sure, whatever you want to share.
Yeah, well, I'm not sure if all of you guys have seen the videos, the vlogs that we had featuring our trip in China and US. On my way to US, I had to go through China, of course, and my flight to China was delayed. So on the way to China from Manila, we were talking to the flight attendant, and because my fellow passenger in particular was so worried that we will not make it to our connecting flight from Guangzhou, China to LA. And so the flight attendant told us, don't worry, we're going to assist you so you could go to move to the next plane sooner. They even made us sit on the first class, business class area just so we could get off first ahead of the rest of the passengers. But it was useless because we just took the same shuttle bus to go to where we were going. And so when we got off, we actually got some stickers to put on our shirt, and someone was saying LA, like fly to LA. So you were like, okay, so you're being taken care of. When we got to the front to the check-in counter, the employee told us, sorry, you cannot get on the plane. The plane is closed. We were like, what? But you told us you were going to make it to the flight. But whoever said that, actually, she just seemed rude. Like there's no sense of empathy or whatever you call that, like as part of great customer service, whatever you call it. And of course, most of the passengers got upset, especially the passengers behind me. And so
This was actually covered in that first vlog. I
yes.
thought you were going to tell another story. Actually, I
Oh,
thought you were
okay.
going to talk about that Chinese restaurant because some of those incidents
Okay,
I didn't really film,
let's move
and
on.
also like I wouldn't have wanted to include it in that vlog, even though it was a certain reality.
Okay,
I didn't include it in the vlog too because not only did I not film most of that part, but I thought it would have put a kind of a damper on a very positive, happy video. Some people might have felt negative towards that aspect. So, why don't you tell us what happened at the Chinese restaurant? First of all, I suppose I should set this up though before I let her talk. And that is, I gave her the option of where do you want to eat? Do you want to eat at McDonald's? Because there was a McDonald's right there. One fun thing that I like to do is I like to kind of try McDonald's in every country that I go to, just for fun, just to see how it's the same, to see how it
just like
differs as well.
McDonald's in Singapore at the airport as soon as we got there.
It's just kind of a fun thing. And the other thing, one reason I like eating at McDonald's is you kind of know what to expect. You know how much it's going to cost if you're not familiar with the currency. You know you're not going to go there and, you know, totally go overboard, and you kind of know what to expect in terms of
It's more
quality
like trying
roughly.
to be safe.
Yeah, exactly. It's kind of a safe bet. So I said, Imabel, do you want to go to McDonald's, or we can, while we're in China, we can have authentic Chinese food. The decision's totally yours. And what happened?
And so we crossed the streets with our new friend. He recommended us to go to that Chinese restaurant, authentic
Well,
Chinese
you
restaurant.
decided you
Be-
wanted Chinese
yes,
food.
and that was like the closest Chinese restaurant to where we were. So we started ordering. But as soon as we got there, of course, I'm always observant. I noticed that the staff were not so friendly looking.
They weren't welcoming at
They were
all.
not welcoming, and so we ordered. And then, so by the way, we ordered some frog legs, spicy frog legs, and noodles. I think that was like ramen or
Hmm.
something. And of course, I needed my rice.
Which the like trying to get regular white rice in this restaurant, especially us not speaking the language, that in itself was a whole ordeal. That seemed like
I
almost Mission
couldn't imagine
Impossible.
how we could have survived ordering or eating there without John,
Oh, there's no way.
our
There's
new
no
Chinese
John.
friend we met
Yeah,
there, who was
there's
really
no way.
exceptionally nice compared to most of the people I saw there. Anyway, so time to eat. And of course, there were chopsticks. It's a Chinese restaurant, of course. But personally,
Well, I
I
knew this should be said. Go like me. I've been to China a couple other times. Even though I don't really eat at those regular Chinese restaurants, I usually eat at the more Western restaurants. I know I would just assume that they might not have spoons and forks there, but you've never that was your first time in China basically, so you didn't really know what to expect. But go on.
right. And so they served the food, but they didn't give us a plate to put on like my rice where I could eat. So they just gave us chopsticks.
Well, they gave
And
us
so I asked,
chopsticks in these tiny little
we call
bowls
it
per
platito,
serving.
like small plates where you could use for desserts. That's what they gave us.
It's like
And
not even the
I
size of my
asked for a
hand,
plate,
that
and that's
thing.
what they gave us. And so, okay, I was getting excited to try the spicy frog legs and the noodles and the rice. And I told John, our new friend that we met there, I said, can you please help me request for a spoon and fork? Because I'm not, I could use chopsticks, but personally, I'm not used to it. And so every time I go to a Chinese restaurant in the Philippines, I am spoiled, I guess. I use spoon and fork. And
Because
in
that's what they
in
use here
all
in the
those
Philippines in
restaurants,
general.
spoon and fork, they're very common. So and I was trying to think how would I eat my frog legs and rice with chopsticks. So so John tried to talk to the rude looking girl lady
Working there, yeah.
working in the restaurant, and she just gave that look at him, and I was clueless what's going on. And then the other table with some was a Chinese family. They were like laughing. I'm not sure if they were laughing at each other or they were laughing at
We don't
me.
know because they speak
I didn't
Chinese and we don't.
understand. And someone was like taking a photo or video. I was like hoping it was not me.
Because like they thought, she kind of thought maybe the table next to us was making fun of her for not knowing how to use chopsticks. Even me, I've learned how to use chopsticks, and I was actually just using chopsticks. She didn't expect that, which annoyed her. And then like the table, like she thought is maybe laughing at her because that person there doesn't know how to use chopsticks. Maybe it's kind of weird too because the white guy was using chopsticks, me, and you're like it's like you don't know how or don't want to use chopsticks, and they were laughing. I don't know if that's what it's about. And one of them had like a cell phone out, like maybe they're taking a video, or these days you have to be so careful because there's video everywhere.
Yeah. So I mean, I could have tried using chopsticks. I use chopsticks, but since I'm not really used to eating chopsticks, I feel like I don't really get full when I use chopsticks. So I my comfort zone when it comes to eating is just using spoon and fork or just my hands, clean hands, of course. So, but good that that family was there because that family actually told the Chinese staff, the rude looking Chinese lady, the staff, to give me a plastic gloves, right, for the hands. So I said, okay, this would work. So I eat with my hands. I ate with my hands, and I'm so just so at least I'm glad I could eat and I could enjoy the spicy frog legs and the noodles and the rice. But I just didn't feel the welcoming atmosphere in that place. I was like, in all or most of the Chinese restaurants I've been to, not in China, because I've only been to one, except for the restaurant at the hotel. That's not something I've experienced before, and it's not something positive. But at least I got to try their food there. It wasn't better
It,
than the
it
other Chinese
the
food
food,
that I tried,
yeah, the
though.
food was okay. The staff seemed just totally rude and uncaring. But then on the way back, we had a separate video where I did a review of China Southern Airlines, and people really seemed to enjoy that a lot. That seemed to make an impact with people. But one thing I'd like to say, because there's been a story the past few days with Lena Dunham. If you don't know who that is, you're better off not even knowing who she is. But she's been tweeting out bad things about American Airlines and tweeting at American Airlines because she claims she overheard a conversation by two employees of American Airlines after
Uh-huh.
taking one of their flights. She
Mm-hmm.
claims that she heard transphobic talk. Transphobic talk is her claim. Transphobic. Afraid that they'll blow out their transmission driving down the highway. No, it's not. But she that's not what it is. But she claims she heard these American Airlines employees engaging in transphobic talk. Just take that in if you know what she's trying to say. And then she's been tweeting at American Airlines. I guess she wants these employees hunted down, found, and fired or punished. And to me, that's not what I'm trying to do when I do a review. First of all, when I do a review, I try my best to be very objective and honest to give the viewer
Fair.
and also to empower the viewer to make the right decision for them. Also, if I have a problem with a company, you don't really see this in the video, but I always try and reach out to that company, get their side of the story before just going out and publicly giving someone a bad review or making crazy accusations because every business is going to have things where they kind of screw up a little bit. You can't be too harsh about that if a company or whatever, especially a big company, if they make some kind of screw ups, you got to give them a chance to make it right or at least hear their side of the story before going on Yelp and giving someone a bad review. That's I don't believe that that's really right to do that. But now she's trying to publicly shame American Airlines because they have employees that are transphobic, which first of all, that's not even a real thing. Now, wherever you fall on the whole trans issue, I'm not going to get into that because that's a controversial thing that would open up a whole can of worms and people feel differently about it and I try and understand where both sides are coming from. But now transphobic, a phobia of trans people, I don't think these people are actually afraid of them. It seems like people like Lena Dunham and her ilk, they just keep inventing up new phobias. And then they can, say, "Oh, you're phobic of whatever." It's like they're not afraid. They just don't like. Maybe those employees just don't like trans people, or maybe they just, were making a joke about them. I don't even know what it said. She didn't even say. She just said they made transphobic statements. I don't think those people were transphobic and saying, "Oh my God, I hope we don't walk down a dark alleyway and get mugged and beat up by some trans people."
Hold
I don't
on.
think that's what they were trying. I don't think they're actually afraid
So
of them.
let me just
It's a
clarify.
fake. It's a fake thing.
Linda was just overhearing a private conversation. Is that
Linda,
correct?
who's Linda?
Sorry, what's the name again?
Lena Dunham.
Lena was just overhearing a private conversation.
She overheard a private conversation by
And
two
so,
employees.
so why does she care? It's their private
Well,
conversation.
because Lena Dunham,
It's their personal beliefs. She could have her own private conversation that could also offend other people who could overhear them. So why does she care?
now when you are an
You know?
employee of a company, you do have to act appropriately on the job. But
Well, yeah, that's a good
and
point.
maybe they shouldn't have said these things, but my God, just trying to punish two hardworking people just for that, it's very spiteful, it's very vindictive. But that's the type of person that Lena Dunham is. By the way, I hope she was traveling because hopefully she was leaving the country. She's one of those people that claimed she was going to leave the country if Trump was elected president. Well, guess what? She didn't leave. None of those people left that made those statements. So that kind of shows the integrity that she has. She can make all these like claims and not actually back them up, not follow through. That just means you don't have any integrity. If you're going around making bold, outrageous statements and then you don't even follow through on it, I mean, that's a pretty simple thing, too. If Trump wins, I'm going to move out of the country. Well, he won. Now move. Don't talk. Just, shut your yapper and get going, and people would be a lot happier with her. And I think people would actually respect her more, although she's a hard person to respect. For one thing, she doesn't give anyone respect unless they follow her extremist agenda, of course. So,
Um, is Alina an openly straight or what?
well, she openly raped her little sister,
What?
supposedly.
She's lesbian? Oh, is
I
it?
don't think she is, but when she was like 17 or 18, she like molested her little
She
sister and
admitted to
covered it.
that? Like she?
Yeah, yeah. This is a real
How
thing.
did she like tell the story? Like she regretted it, or
I
like
think
she
she
was
told it in a book.
remorseful?
I think she told it in a book, and then she had a lot of backlash over it. She's one of those people that, this guy's a sexist. This guy hooks up with women. He's bad, but she can rape her
Yeah.
little sister,
Why
just like
does
Roman Polanski rapes children.
why is she so fast?
I thought
Or
you were gonna say why is
no,
she so
why is she
fat?
so fast? Or
That's another question people have. Why is
I
she so
didn't know
fat?
that she's fat. Okay, I don't really know this person, but here are the things that come to mind. Why is she so fast and so vigilant to react to a conversation, a private conversation she overheard and she didn't like, and but she herself is not perfect. You know what I mean?
Well, she thinks she is perfect. If you've seen her talk
Just like
on TV or in an interview, or if you've seen her Twitter, clearly this woman thinks she's perfect. She'll even take like photos on the toilet and post them on Twitter because she's such a perfect goddess. She takes photos in her underwear and bikinis and posts it, even though she's disgusting. I mean, look, it's one thing to have some extra weight. I don't think anyone wants to punish people that are a little bit overweight, but it's another thing to post photo if you have that kind of body to take photos of it and post it all over the internet and then expect the world to praise you for it. That's a totally different thing.
well, that just reminds me of one of God's words. It says, look at the speck before you look at someone else's speck. Try to look at your own speck in your eye before you judge someone. Try to assess yourself. I mean, no one is perfect, but it's
Sure,
just
no
like,
one's perfect.
how
That's
can you easily, you know, judge them or like want them to be fired just because you overheard that conversation? And in general, we human beings from our ancestors and whoever is the oldest in the world, we all have our share of being discriminated. We all have our share of getting rejected. We all have our share of being of feeling down because people don't really like us. We don't get the approval of the people we expect to give us approval, to like us or to appreciate us. But that is just part of the life. That actually helps us to become stronger, to become better, and to keep going no matter what happens. Because if we get something like a sort of rejection, may it be small or big, if you just stop and get discouraged right away, oh my God, he said this and he called me this. Am I gonna stop? Is my world gonna stop right there? No. And I don't have to tell the world, oh, someone bullied me. We have to, punish that person or this group that bullied me. I mean, they could be punished if it's too much, but we cannot be crybabies like that, I guess. But just observing what's going on in the world, it's like every
Lena Dunham is the very definition of a crybaby.
Anyways, I have to look her up.
She's she's gross.
This
She's
discussion,
barely a celebrity.
whatever we're talking right now, I mean, these are just the thoughts that that are drawn. These are what come to mind as we go along in this conversation. What do you guys think?
Well, I think my point, which probably wasn't very clear, my point is when I do reviews and I talk about companies in my videos to you guys, when I publicly talk about other companies, I don't want to take that approach of being like Alina Dunham, where I'm just a spiteful person that thinks that a company or its employees should bow down to my every wish, or else I'm going to use my following to shame them and to make try and make people hate them. That's not what I'm about, man. So I hope people understand when I do these reviews and stuff. I'm really just trying to share my honest experience, and I'm trying to give them as consumers, you as a consumer, important information that empowers you and helps you make the right decision and helps you get to where you want to go in life, not just whether it's travel, but just having a good time, man.
Yes, and just like what I've said in all the live streams, as we really appreciate all the love and support we receive from you guys, especially our Patreon family, because we are able to keep making these videos on the channel that inform you, that inspire you and entertain you, and to share with you our experience. I believe is something that also helps you in terms of information. It could help you be prepared for the time when you will also have to do the same thing. Just heads up. And being honest, sometimes to many people misinterpret honesty as being arrogant or being biased, but actually there's nothing wrong with that. The main point is we're able to also help you in our own way by sharing you the real experience we have. And if there's something great, then so be it. That's something we share with you. If you have to be aware about something that you have to be extra cautious about, then there's something very important to know as well. So we share it with you also.
And hopefully this new microphone, real quick to interject, hopefully you guys hear us well. Hopefully it's working well. You guys can let us know in the comment section that are playing here live. But when we got back, we took some time off to relax. But then it was time to get back to serious business. Maybe not serious business. We always try and have fun with our business. But sometimes in life, you take one step forward and two step back. And that's what I did because we had a good time while we were traveling. We ate. I worked out and stuff. You didn't actually really work out. You did some
I
walking.
took walks with you and Dad.
Yeah.
That was fun exercise.
And so when I got back, it's like, okay, now it's time to pedal to the metal. And I was
Pedal to the
training.
metal.
Yeah, I was training. I ended up injuring my leg. Just like I started getting back into training more and more. So I was maybe training maybe only like a week and a half, and I was already seeing good results. But then I ended up injuring my leg. I injured my leg running sprints actually. So then, because of that, I've had to take some time off where I couldn't really do
Right.
much of anything. You've been training well, you've been working out well, but me, I
Well,
haven't done
thank
anything.
you.
I haven't
I
done
got the
anything
best
lately.
trainer.
Oh, the only thing I've been able to do, I started walking again, going for walks. For a few times I went up the stairs, not all the way in this 40 floor building, but yesterday I went up to, I think it was the 25th floor that I walked up to from the bottom
It's more than half.
because I haven't been able to work my legs, and even now I don't want to work my legs because you got to let the injury heal first. Other than that, for the past couple weeks, then I haven't been lifting weights because I don't want to try and grab dumbbells and like put them on a bench like with a bad leg.
Mm-hmm.
So I've been just kind of doing some push-ups, some chin-ups, stuff like that. Actually getting in pretty good workouts, especially with the chin-ups. When you're as heavy as I am, for doing chin ups and dips, even with just your body weight, really good exercise actually. So, but you've been doing a really good job, Imabelle.
Oh, thank you. There are times that a lot of days that I just don't feel in the mood. I feel lazy actually to work out, but thank you for the super motivation that
Well, I
I'm
don't let
able
her. I
to,
don't let her take
I'm
days
able
off.
to get up and to really do it, do some healthy exercise. And of course, after the exercise, after working out, I just feel so healthy, and it's like fulfilling as well. So thanks to Travis.
Yeah, you've been doing really good. You work out harder than me, so that's quite impressive, actually.
Oh, you guys, how about you? Do you also go out for walks?
Leave us a comment and
Do
let us know
you
what
do
kind
you
of.
go to the gym? What kind of exercises do you do? We gotta stay healthy.
Yeah, I cut out some stuff actually. We had some of my stuff, my dad talking about his bodybuilding career. As I said earlier, my dad was a natural bodybuilding champion. He won the state championship of North Dakota. And we have some of that on video. Some of it I cut out because I didn't want too much and I feared some of my audience might not. But I'll probably be uploading some of it to Patreon as a patron exclusive for people that support us on Patreon. And the link is in the description for that.
Patreon.com
I can
slash
type it in
craft.
here.
Yeah,
Why don't you talk about that for a minute while I try and type it in here?
sure. Well, I mentioned that just a few minutes ago. Patreon.com slash craft. And you
Type
can
it.
check that out. And for the members of our Patreon family already, thank you so much. You know who you are. And every day we get tons of emails asking for travel tips, advice, visa questions, and just different questions about life actually. And of course, amidst all these many questions, we cannot really guarantee that we'll be able to answer all of them. And so having the Patreon family helps us to know who to prioritize, which questions to prioritize, who to answer sooner, who to answer first. And of course, our Patreon family, we really appreciate you guys because you help us to be able to keep making videos that keep you guys, the viewers, entertained, informed, inspired by the videos we make, and really do our best to keep doing this. And it's important that it's really important that we're able to impart to you the experience we have, not only to show you how I mean, like, all of us surely have our own way of enjoying life, and we do our part, you do our part, and whatever experience we have that you might have the experience or you will experience, then you could relate to it, and like what I said earlier, they could also help you prepare for that experience.
Okay, I'm back. Now,
Good.
what I want to
Welcome
move on
back.
to now, so I've had this hurt leg, and what I've been doing in the meantime, actually, I've been watching one of my all-time favorite shows, something I watched as a little kid, but over the years, it's been almost impossible to find because it hasn't aired in reruns until I think recently. It started airing in the United States, anyways, in reruns. It took like 20 years to be released on DVD. And but I found it online and I've been watching Zorro. 1990s Zorro. That was like one of my favorite shows as a kid. I never got a chance to re-see it, but I've been going through all that and man, that is a great show. There's
It
so
is a great show.
It's funny because there's so much entertainment that it's propaganda or puts you in a negative place. This is a show that's pure positivity. It's just good, fun action adventure, has good humor in it. If you like the 1950s Zorro, the Disney Zorro from the 50s, probably the most iconic version of Zorro. I think when most people think of Zorro, they still think of Guy Williams in the 1950s show. Well, this is a pretty good show that also doesn't stray too far from that Disney version, and it has a few changes. Like now, Zorro's a scientist. In most previous versions, Zorro's a magician. But the guy that plays Zorro too, he is so perfect for the role. He's actually apparently a Canadian, and
Oh, I didn't know that.
a Canadians are who this is like my favorite Zorro. I know most people would say their favorite Zorro was Guy Williams from the old TV show in the 50s, of course. He's like the one that really made the character of what people think of today. Ironically, my least favorite Zorro, and I'm not saying he's bad, but my least favorite Zorro is Antonio Banderas, the guy that's actually Spanish that played Zorro. He's my least, and I'm not saying he's a bad Zorro. He's just my least favorite because they've had a lot of good different versions. Tyrone Power in the 1940s, he was great for that version of Zorro. Guy Williams, of course, he's the most iconic one. In the 70s, there was even this popular foreign made, European made version of Zorro starring this French actor, and he was very good too and kind of put his unique spin on it. But I grew up with the 1990s Zorro. I can post the link here in the chat room here.
What link is this?
So it'll take you to the Amazon page where you can purchase the DVDs. But man, this show, it's 4 seasons, and it just seems like it gets better and better. In particular, I love the Christmas episodes. Like the one,
Yeah.
they had one, It's a Wonderful Zorro. That's the title of the
It's a
episode.
one. Yeah,
It's a
yeah.
Wonderful Zorro. And boy,
That's
that's
my
a good
favorite.
episode. I mean, there's so much good about this show. And man, that guy really nails the role. He's tall, he's athletic, he's a good actor, he's got the charm, he has the right look, all of that. So who would have known that a Canadian made the best Zorro? At least in my opinion, maybe because that's what I grew up with. Like I said, I know most people would go with Guy Williams, like my dad. But to me, I guess since I was a little kid, this was my Zorro. And they actually had a lot of famous guest stars on it. Jesse the Body Ventura, we saw a couple episodes
Yeah.
with him. Roddy Piper was actually on a couple episodes. Uh, Andre the Giant. So those are a few WWF, old school WWF wrestlers. The other night we watched an episode where the black guy from WKRP in Cincinnati, also another good show, the guy that played Venus Flytrap, he was a hypnotist in an episode. And I think something they did that was really good, Adam West was on an episode. He guest starred on an episode of Zorro, and his last name was Wayne. So you can kind of think that this is the great,
Bruce
great, great.
Wayne.
Yeah, you can think it's maybe the great, great, great grandfather of Bruce Wayne. So I think that was really cool. So the link is in the chat room box. So there you go.
I remember what he said, and I agree to what you said that this Zorro that we have been watching is something that kids, young people, and adults, old people would like and enjoy. So, and I like it. It's very wholesome, I would say.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's a weird kind of show in that it's probably aimed more at children, but it's one of those shows that kids and adults can both enjoy equally, and it's very hard for a show to do that.
Right. I would love to see another Zorro like that in this time and age. Very wholesome, just fun. Kids, if they watch it, would really learn a very good lesson.
We have a question here in the chat room that I guess this person that left the question, they missed the beginning, so they just tuned in now, and so they missed some of what I talked about. But they want to know my thoughts about another blogger. Honestly, I don't know who you're talking about. I don't really care. I don't watch. Funny enough, the types of videos that I do watch and the things I do watch, it it is very different than what most people would expect. And why would I need to, I don't need to watch like certain people that maybe you think are in the same vein as me or genre. I already know more than everyone else, I think. And if you think they know more than me, that's fine. You're entitled to your opinion. Take advice from them. But I don't watch whoever you're asking me about. It's probably not even in my realm of interests. So sorry to disappoint you, though. Um, that's not what I really. That's not what I'm really trying to. I'm not trying to be rude to your question by any means, but I just don't watch it. I have no interest, and I know maybe that disappoints people if they would find out that a lot of my true passions and interests are very different than maybe what they would expect. So by no means do I mean to disrespect you for answering the question. I'm just trying to answer your question in a straightforward manner, my friend.
Thank you for that. I think that was from Larry Morris. So, well, thank you guys for joining us right now in the
We have
room.
people from all over the
And
world,
yeah,
and I'm still going to maintain that a Canadian played the best Zorro.
cool. I
But of
didn't
course,
know he's.
some of that,
I didn't know he's Canadian.
funny enough, there's so little information about that show on the internet, too. It's just, and it ran for 4 seasons, had a lot of famous guest stars, but I don't know. And it never aired in reruns throughout my life. I heard they started, probably had something to do with the rights. It never was released on DVD until fairly recently. It never ran on TV in reruns until fairly recently. It's probably some issue with the rights. So,
Possible. Yeah. Maybe we could read a few messages. Let's see. From Ima Vlogs. Hi, Travis and Imabelle. The North Dakota shows were cool. Alan and I here in the Philippines watched every episode. Wow. Thank you so much
oh,
to
well, that's
you
great.
and Alan, of course. And let's see. Let me see. Oh, Chuck fan, I'm sorry. Hopefully there's not. Is it still buffering?
Hopefully the replay works okay, man.
Yeah, there's something beyond our control.
Someone said they're too lazy to exercise. Well, I'm sorry to hear about that. You have to look at the positive about it.
That's
Ex-
understandable.
Exercise can be fun, and the trick is you have to find something that you actually enjoy. That might not be necessarily going and lifting weights, although I think
Or
that that's one of the best, especially if you do it in very much moderation. You don't have to try and be like an athlete or a bodybuilder by any means. But find something you enjoy. I personally like lifting weights. I like taking walks. So just find something you enjoy, and then you're not going to be too lazy to exercise. Find
or
something you're
maybe
excited about.
you could do it with your friend or with your loved one. So it's easier to to get motivated to do it.
Well, he
But
says
Chuck
he has
said
to. He says he has
he
to
will
work.
extend our days, that's enough. Well, if that's really some physical work, then that's already a lot of exercise.
Yeah, I think exercise is worth making time for, but that's the way I was in. That's the way I was raised.
Right.
It's ingrained into me. If you had a different type of upbringing, I can totally see where someone would. But I think it's definitely worth taking time for. And maybe for you, all you'd have to do is walk a mile or two every day. Well, I've been walking a mile, and walking a mile, it's not that hard. It doesn't take too much of your time. You can walk a mile in less than 20 minutes. So walk 1 to 3 miles, maybe 5, 6 days a week, and do something like that. I think that's good enough for you, maybe. And you'll probably
Right.
find out you actually enjoy it, especially once you get in the habit of it.
Right.
That's the trick, getting into the habit of it. Me, I'm in the habit of it. So, like when I injured my leg and I couldn't exercise for a while, it's like, oh, it's almost kind of depressing.
I think it's just it really depends on what you're used to, and it's good that you grew up working out. So
Well, yeah, we
it's
had to
it's
whether we wanted to or not. But then
it's
I found I enjoyed it after a while.
right. Right. Well, there are many different forms of exercise anyway, so it does not only have to be in the gym.
Yeah, it doesn't have to be in the gym. You might like that like me, but like I said, take a walk and you're good to go. But what you really want to do overall in life, like I said, looking at this channel, you want to go in a direction that empowers you to be able to do what you want to do in life, whatever that is. And of course, that's going to be different for everyone. So that's hopefully what I'm giving you guys the guidance. And you get out of my content, whether it's my videos, whether it's my book that's on Amazon right now, uh, whatever it is that I'm putting out there into the world, you kind of get out of it what you want to, what you look into it. So some people they take a very simple-minded approach and they maybe don't see a lot of the things that are actually there that could benefit them. So you, like I said, you get out what you put in.
Right. Well, to Jojo, who is in the joining us right now, thank you so much for the compliment. And let's see. I'm not really sure how our like live stream is doing in terms of the buffering and all that. But so far the audio is good, right? I mean, so far, do you hear us well? Is the audio quality okay?
It seems like when we were in America and we did a live stream, we didn't really have any kind of problems with it. I'm just
Well, I
checking the
guess it's
live
the
preview
internet,
here.
that's why.
This weaker internet.
Hmm.
So I don't think I can hear any audio that comes out of the computer while this mic is plugged in.
Oh, right.
So
Maybe
that's a weird thing.
can I try that on the phone?
Yeah, it's okay. But I think that we can wrap this up anyways. We just want to do a live stream. We haven't done one for a long time. It got off to a little bit of a rocky start, which seems like it's always the case because there's problems with it says it's not getting, the stream isn't working and things like that. But we got more videos to come. Go ahead and leave a comment. Let us know what you guys are enjoying and let us know how well you're doing in life. So thank you guys. I think now is a good time to
Be-
put the kibosh on it.
yeah, but before anything else, let me just say hi to the early birds tonight. Lumina Chan, World Traveler, Man Explores Vlog, Marcus Gomez. Thank you so much, guys. And all of you, even though I'm not able to say your name, we really appreciate your time. And hopefully the recording is complete. It's recording well. So if you're not able to start the live stream, you can still catch it later. Thank you. Have a great weekend. God bless.